What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with a brand new basketball talk video. If you're not a best one yet and you're an NBA fan, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because you already know the grind is real. And so far, we've been pretty consistent with uploads. I know, could have been a little bit better this off-season, but I still got some pretty cool videos out. And now that the regular season begins today, I'm gonna still be dropping heat on this channel. I've been pretty consistent. I have a very good schedule going right now for all my channels. And just so you guys know, before I get into my rankings for the Western and Eastern Conference of the NBA, just want to say the reason why I am not as energetic or as loud as I usually am is because last week I got a tooth extraction done. I had to get a baby tooth pulled, which I don't know why they waited until now to do it. And I also had to get my wisdom tooth pulled. And I don't know why I did not get all of them at once. It was just weird, like one came in too early, I had to get that out with another tooth, and then the upper ones aren't coming in, and now this one has finally decided to coming in, so had to get it extracted, and I'm still in a little bit of pain. I'm a lot better than I was, but it's the start of the NBA season, and I have to make this video, even though my mouth hurts a little bit still. Just want to let you guys know why I'm not as crazy and as energetic as I usually am. It's because of that. But now we're going to get into the video for today. So here are my predictions for the NBA standings. We're going to start off with the Western Conference at number 15. The worst team I have in the Western Conference is easily the OKC Thunder. They are just tanking. They do have a great player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And they also just got Josh Giddey at number 6, who could be a boom or a bust. And right now, they are just getting as much draft picks and young assets as possible. They are relying on middle schoolers to take them to the promised lands for years to come. It has been draft picks after draft picks for the OKC Thunder. And I think that this year, they are going to be the worst team in the West because they are not really competing right now. They are just more focused on their future, which I think they are thinking very smart. But, unfortunately, they are going to be the worst team in the West. At number 14, I have the Houston Rockets. Lots of people think that the Houston Rockets are going to have an underrated season this year and that they could potentially make the play-in tournament. I don't think that is going to happen with the Houston Rockets. They are still very young. I definitely see them moving on from Christian Wood at the deadline. He's going to get traded and maybe go to a contender, and they're just going to continue to build around Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, their rookie that they picked up, which these two I do think have the potential of winning the Most Improved and Rookie of the Year award, but they really don't have much going on over in Houston, and with a stacked Western Conference, I think that they will end up being number 14. And they're also going to move on from John Wall, probably buy him out, and then he ends up going to the Clippers, like I said in my prediction video. At number 13, I have the San Antonio Spurs. Lots of people have the Rockets over the Spurs. The reason why I don't is because I never will ever doubt Greg Popovich's coaching abilities. If Greg Popovich wasn't there and they had a young coach, easily this team could probably be number 14. But with Greg Popovich, and they even have like some of the most underrated players on their team, like DeAndre Murray and Lonnie Walker and Keldon Johnson. They do have a pretty underrated team, Derek White as well. But I feel like with the Spurs, they're not going to make the play-in this year for, because they don't really have enough assets, and the Western Conference is already stacked as it is, but I still have, Greg Popovich taking them over to Houston Rockets. At number 12, I have the Sacramento Kings. This team, I feel like they are getting better and better every year. Finally, the rebuild is finally starting to pay off. But I feel like they have some decisions that they're going to have to make. They obviously have De'Aaron Fox, who I think will be an all-star this year. He's going to play out of his mind. They have Halliburton, Marvin Bagley. I think they still have Harrison Barnes, Rashad Holmes. Also, they drafted a pretty good player in Mitchell in the draft this year, who I think is going to be a great backup for De'Aaron Fox. And they also have Buddy Hield still, which I still don't know why they haven't flipped Buddy Hield or Marvin Bagley yet. But I feel like the Sacramento Kings are going to end up being number 12. I really want to see this team make the play-in, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really want to see De'Aaron Fox go off, though, which I think will happen. At number 11, I have the New Orleans Pelicans. This team has definitely gone downhill. I think them losing Lonzo Ball this offseason was the biggest mistake that they made. And even trying with Stan Van Grande, it just didn't work out well. And now they have Brandon Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, and Graham, which I think that these four are going to play pretty good together. But just in this stacked Western Conference, I feel like it's just not enough. It's not enough for the New Orleans Pelicans to take it to the next level. I feel like there's just lots of tension in that team, in that locker room. I feel like we're definitely going to be seeing Brandon Ingram leave pretty soon. And we're also probably going to see Zion want out of New Orleans. It's going to happen within the next 3 to 4 years. Those two will not be on the Pelicans. At number 10, which this gets into the play-in tournament. At number 10, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves, which this is my dark horse for the Western Conference. I think that injuries was one of the biggest reasons why the Minnesota Timberwolves weren't as good as they usually are. But I think that with a healthy squad, that I think this year, I think they are going to take it to the next level. I feel like Karl-Anthony Towns has been slept on for too long, and I think that this is going to be his breakout year. D'Angelo Russell, I think, is going to have a great season as well. And I think Anthony Edwards is going to have a great sophomore season. And I like the addition of Pat Beverly. Lots of people are still sleeping on that, and I think having that defensive mind is going to make a huge difference in that locker room and that culture. But I definitely see Minnesota having a very good season this year. At number 9, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. It's crazy what they've done. They went from trading Marc Gasol and Mike Conley, who have been with that team for years, into a rebuilding team where they ended up getting the number 2 pick, drafting Ja Morant, who has been playing out of his mind. Also getting Jaren Jackson Jr. at number 4, which they also just signed him to the extension. And they just have a very deep roster of nice young assets. And I feel like for the next couple years, they're just only going to get better. But of course, we're talking about the Western Conference, and that is why I have to have them at number 9. But they are going to have a pretty good year, and I think Ja Morant, he'll get his first All-Star selection, most likely. I hope so. At number 8, this is the playoffs now. We have the Portland Trailblazers. And I just feel so bad for Damian Lillard. And I don't know why the front office hasn't done anything to try to make Damian Lillard's life easier, because clearly Lillard wants to stay with this team for his whole career. He said it multiple freaking times, and they still haven't gotten rid of CJ McCollum, because we all know the McCollum and Lillard experiment did not work out. Nurkic, I'm sorry, he is overrated as hell. I just don't get why they have not tried to go after a guy like Ben Simmons, or now they should be trying to go after DeAndre Ayton, since the Suns don't want to give him the max contract. Lillard needs better pieces in Portland, and that is why, unfortunately, I have him at number 8. And we all know Lillard's going to ball out. He is going to go off. So I definitely have them at number 8. At number 7, I have the Dallas Mavericks. And the reason why they're staying in the playoffs is because of one person only, Luka Doncic. Everybody knows that Luka Doncic He is the future of the Dallas Mavericks. He is the face of that franchise for years to come, and I feel like the front office has not done enough to build around Luka Doncic. At the time when they traded for Porzingis, it was a great move, but obviously the Porzingis and Doncic experiment did not work out, and they still haven't moved on from Porzingis, and I don't understand why. This offseason, they basically kept almost everybody and brought in just really nothing. They didn't really bring anybody in for Luka, and I feel bad for Luka just like how I feel bad for Damian Lillard. So I have the Dallas Mavericks at number 7, and I want to see them this year go off. I want to see Luka succeed. At number 6, I have the Golden State Warriors. That's right, they will finally be making the playoffs. I think at first they're going to be kind of slow this season, but when Klay Thompson comes back, the Warriors are going to go off. I feel like this year Steph Curry is going to be a runner-up for the MVP award. Jordan Poole's going to have a great freaking season. Went off in the preseason. Somebody I wasn't even thinking about that could become most improved player. He might even take that over Kevin Porter Jr. at this point. Sheesh! Also, I love the draft picks of Kuminga and Moody. Also, James Wiseman, I think, is going to have a very good sophomore season. And Draymond Green, when Klay Thompson comes back, Draymond Green, he is going to finally maybe come back out of his little hole and actually play very good basketball. Because when Thompson and Curry are on the court, that's when Draymond comes out and plays very good basketball. But the Warriors, I think, are going to have a very bounce-back year. They are still hungry. They want a title. They are going to be at number 6. At number 5, I have the LA Clippers. I think the Clippers would be a little bit closer to number 1 if Kawhi Leonard was healthy and he was playing this season. But I have the LA Clippers at number 5. I still think that Paul George plays the best basketball when he's the number 1 option. The way that they played in this playoffs, I was very impressed with. And I think that they should have just kept building around Paul George and maybe flipping Kawhi Leonard for something. Or just vice versa. You bring Kawhi Leonard back and then you flip Paul George for something. But I think that Paul George and the pieces that they have around Paul George, I think, are enough for them to lock in the 5th seed. At number 4, I have the Utah Jazz. Last season, they were number 1. I think that they are going to be number 4. I feel like they didn't really do enough this offseason to get them to be in the top 3. And I feel like that this team, they need to, if they're going to play great in the regular season and end up being the number 1 seed, they have to play like that in the playoffs. There's no excuses, no reason why they shouldn't have been in the NBA Finals last year with the way that they played in the regular season. But I think Donovan Mitchell, he's going to have a great season. Rudy Gobert, just a defensive machine down low. And I just like the pieces that they have around him. Jordan Clarkson, great player, great pickup for them. I think Utah will be number 4. At number 3, I have the Phoenix Suns. Wow, who would have thought that the Phoenix Suns would be number 3 after the hell of a postseason that they had. The reason why I have Phoenix at number 3, they just kept the same core basically, and that was it. And also brought in Shamet, which I think is a good move for them. But I feel like it's just not enough. They're going to be number 3 because I feel like they care about the regular season, but their mind is more focused on the playoffs, and that is where I would be scared of the Phoenix Suns, is the playoffs. But they're definitely going to get number 3. Booker is just a GOAT. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to have a very good season, and I think the Suns are going to regret not giving the man the max contract. I definitely see them probably giving him the max this offseason when he goes off this year. And also, they just have great pieces around. And I think Chris Paul still has a couple more good years in him before he starts to decline. Don't get why they would give him that fat contract at 36 years old, though. At number 2, I have the LA Lakers. That's right. A lot of people have the Lakers at number 1. I'm going to have them at number 2 because, you know LeBron, he doesn't care that much about the regular season. LeBron this year and Anthony Davis and a lot of their veterans that they have, they are focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is a championship. I don't think they care about being the number 1 seed in the West, and I feel like in the beginning of the season, they are going to struggle, and a lot of people are going to be questioning LeBron. Oh, is he on the decline? And everybody's just going to be questioning what they've done, because I feel like they don't have enough sharp shooting on their team, and I think that they will make some type of move at the deadline to get them to that number 2 seed. But at the number 1, I have the Denver Nuggets. And this one is a dark horse here. Nobody has the Nuggets at number 1 because of Jamal Murray's ACL injury. I get it. Jamal Murray is a huge piece for this Nuggets roster. But I feel like with Nikola Jokic just playing the best basketball he has possibly played, having an MVP season last year, and bringing in Aaron Gordon, which he will have a full season with them, Michael Porter Jr., who is only getting better, and I think he's going to take his game to an all-star level with Murray being out, and even bringing in guys like Jeff Green on their bench. I think absolutely smart move for the Nuggets, and I think that they're going to have no problem without Jamal Murray to begin with. I feel like they're going to get, some wins, some losses, but when Murray comes back later this season, they're getting that number 1 seed. But it all depends on when Murray comes back. I'm not sure when he will return, but I feel like Jokic is going to just have a hell of a regular season this year, and he's going to take them to definitely the number 1 seed. But yeah, that is my rankings for the Western Conference. Now let's get into the Eastern Conference. At number 15, I have the Orlando Magic. I think that they will be the worst team in the NBA this season. I just think that they're a young team and they are just, trying to get top picks and just, have a nice rebuild this time around that hopefully leads them to a deeper playoff run and maybe a championship, something that they never won as a franchise. They were close with Shaq, they were close with Dwight Howard, but they definitely have lots of improvements to do. I love the contract extension signing for Wendell Carter Jr. I like some of the young players that this team has, and they don't even have Markelle Fultz right now. He's recovering from injury, and Jonathan Isaac, I think, is also recovering as well from injury. I think he should be back pretty soon. But the Magic, there's just lots of more improvement that they have to make as a team, and I definitely see Ross and Lopez not staying there too long, and they're probably going to get traded for late first-round picks maybe, if not second-round picks. The Magic, they're in full tank mode, and it's the smartest thing they could do for their franchise. At number 14, I have the Detroit Pistons. I want to see the Pistons come back and play Detroit bad boy basketball. It's been a while since Detroit has been a contender. They are also rebuilding, and I think one thing that they have to do this season is trade Jeremy Grant. They have to. They have to trade him to a contender and get some type of young player to, just be a good role player for Cade Cunningham. I think Cunningham's going to be a great future star for the Detroit Pistons for years to come. He's a great pick for them at the number 1, and I feel like they just are in rebuild mode, and that is okay. And I think with another maybe number 1 pick, they can, build around Cade and whoever they pick up next, and, maybe have a deep run in a couple years. We'll see, but right now they are in rebuild mode, and that is okay. They don't have enough pieces right now around Cade, and I feel like the future for Detroit is looking pretty bright. I think that this time, this rebuild is going to pay off if everything just goes smooth. They do got their star in Cade, though, which that's a step in the right direction. But unfortunately, they're going to be number 14. Which, you never know. They could go a little bit farther, like all these other teams can. You never know. I want to see Detroit do good. But at number 13, this one's going to probably shock a lot of people. You probably are all going to disagree with me on this one. I have the Toronto Raptors. Everybody doing these rankings with the Eastern and Western conferences, they all have the Raptors being just like the Golden State Warriors as a dark horse team. I don't have that whatsoever. I still think that they are a good overall team, but the Eastern Conference has gotten a lot better this offseason. So many guys came from the West to the East this year and are looking to contend. And I feel like the Raptors, they just don't have enough, and I think losing their cornerstone in Lowry definitely is going to impact this team, and they're going to decline a little bit more. Pascal Siakam is a great player, but I feel like lots of people are still kind of overrating him. I know he didn't have the best season last season, but I just think that he is not an all-star, but he is a great role player for this team, and having him as the number one option, I think, is not going to lead them to a play-in or playoff tournament. Also, having Van Vliet and Gary Trent, I think, are also pretty good moves as well. OG is also getting better every year. Scotty Barnes, I think, that was a good move as well. They are going to do a lot better, I think, next season, because I think if they have a decline season this year and get another great lottery pick, they can definitely take this team to the next level. And I just feel like the Raptors, unfortunately, they are a little bit on the decline right now. I think that they are, in overall, still a good team. At number 12, I have the Charlotte Hornets. I think LaMelo Ball is going to have a great sophomore season for them. I also like some of the draft picks that they picked up in the draft with Bortnight and Jones. And also bringing in Kelly Oubre Jr. I think is a great move, especially with Gordon Hayward's trying to stay healthy. Sometimes he has struggles staying healthy. So bringing in Kelly Oubre as that insurance policy, great move. And I think that the Hornets, they still are a couple moves away from being a threat, from being a playoff team. And I think that they have their cornerstone in LaMelo Ball, and they just need to continue to build around LaMelo. And hopefully Jello gets called up, because I think Jello can make a huge impact as a great role player for the future of this Hornets team. But I do have them at number 12. Also, Scary Terry is going to have a good year as well for them. At number 11, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lots of people still have them as the worst team in the league. I don't understand why. Probably because you all think that they can only go far with LeBron James. But I think that the Cavaliers have gotten a lot better. Colin Sexton had a breakout year last year. I think he is just going to continue to get better. Also, I love the pickup that they did with the number 3 pick with Mobley, and also bringing in Lord Markkanen on this team and having Jared Allen signed back to this roster. And hopefully they still have Taco Fall on their team. I'm not sure about that, but I really want to just see this team play. And they just have, I think, some pretty good players on their team. I think that also Darius Garland is going to have a breakout year now this year. I think the pairing of Garland and Sexton, I think, and having now a nice big down low, these bigs down low, this is going to be a dark horse team. And I still think that they still need to trade Kevin Love already. Free Kevin Love. But Cavaliers will be number 11, I think. They are going to be a lot better this year. At number 10, I have the Washington Wizards. I think that they got a lot better this offseason. They finally got Bradley Beal some help. I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to bounce back from the ACL injury that he sustained last season. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to play a lot better, because now he doesn't have Anthony Davis and LeBron, really, who play his position. And I think now with the Wizards, just trying to find something, Kuzma's gonna come back, I think. Also, I love the pickups that they just have done all off-season long, and I think that Beal finally got some help, and they are going to secure the 10th seed and maybe pull an upset in the play-in. I don't know. We'll see. At number 9, I have the Boston Celtics. This team, I feel like, is on the decline. Unfortunately, they are on the decline. I think that Tatum and Brown is just not enough for this team to go far, and the Eastern Conference just got even more stacked now. With that being said, the Boston Celtics are going to be the 9th seed, and they're just not doing enough to build around Tatum and Brown. And it's just sad to watch, because I am a huge fan of Jason Tatum. Even though he's a headache to play against in the playoffs, he is a very good player for them. And they need to keep building around him. At number 8, I have the team I hate the most in the NBA, and that is the New York Knicks. They have just kept everybody basically and brought in Evan Fournier, who should not be getting paid that much money. And they're just going to be a first round exit once again, and they're going to disappoint you New York fans out there, and maybe some of you will actually realize that you guys are nowhere near close to us Brooklyn Nets, and that Brooklyn Nets, we are the best New York team in basketball, and it's going to stay that way for a very long time, as long as Sean Marks is still our GM. But the Knicks, they will be the 8th seed, and hopefully Boston or Washington, they beat them in the play-in just so I can laugh at them. So, yeah, Knicks are number 8. At number 7, I have the Indiana Pacers. This is a team I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on. They are overall a good team. They are still kind of averaged, but I feel like that this year they're going to have a pretty good season. With Karis LeVert having a full year with them, I feel like he's going to be that breakout star. And every year, for some reason, on the Pacers roster, one player just goes off. It's very, very weird. We've had Oladipo go off. We've had Sabonis go off, which he's now, I think, a multiple-time All-Star for them. We've even had TJ Warren go off in the friggin' bubble. And then I believe Bischoff, or I can't really pronounce his name, Bischoff or something like that. He played pretty decent last season. This year, I think it will be Karis LeVert, and they're just going to maybe take their team to the next level by being a first-round exit. At number 6, I have the Chicago Bulls. This team had probably one of the best off seasons in their franchise history, bringing in Lonzo Ball, DeRozan, Caruso. This team's going to be a lot of fun to freaking watch. If I was Zach LaVine, I would be signing that contract extension right away, because Zach LaVine finally got some help, and the way that this team played in the preseason, that's just a little preview, and I think that this team could seriously maybe even get a higher seed than number 6, but I think that they are going to make the playoffs, and right now that is all the Bulls want to do, is make it back to the playoffs, and this is just going to be a step in the right direction, and their future is only going to get better from here on out. And Lonzo's just going to go off for them. But at the number 5 seed, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. Don't even get me started on that franchise. I'm just going to leave it as that. Philly's at number 5 because this whole Ben Simmons saga has been pissing me off. And there's going to be a video coming out on this channel later today about that, because I just have a lot I need to say about the whole Ben Simmons and Philadelphia situation. I tried staying shut for a while, but now I just can't. So I'm just going to leave it as that. Philly at number 5. But at the number 4 seed, I have the Miami Heat. They're going to have a bounce-back season. I feel like the reason why they didn't do well last year is because they were playing in the bubble, and they brought that team to the NBA Finals, which was held in October, and they literally only had 1 month to get ready for last season. And that is why they were just gassed out, and they got eliminated in the first round by the Bucks. I think Tyler Hero's going to have a breakout year. Kyle Lowry, great move for them. PJ Tucker, great move for them. Jimmy Butler, Bam, they just kept their core. They signed back freaking Duncan Robinson, one of the most underrated sharpshooters in the league right now. Miami will secure the number 4 seed. At number 3, I have the Atlanta Hawks. And this team really shocked a lot of people last season when they fired their head coach and they brought in Nate McMillan, and he brought this team to a whole nother level. And Trae Young, his playing style went up to a whole nother level. He's looking very, very good, and I think that this year they are only going to pick up right where they left off, and they're going to end up being the 3rd seed. And I think that the Hawks, they could maybe pull an upset on Milwaukee maybe in the second round this season. We'll see. But I do definitely think that Atlanta is going to be a lot better than they were. They have a pretty deep roster. At number 2, I have the reigning champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is going to have a pretty good year probably. He's still going to be taking 20 seconds at the free throw line. Even though the jump shot, I'm not going to lie, in preseason looks pretty good. But tonight, the Brooklyn Nets are on a mission. And I think after them watching the Bucks' little ring ceremony, the rings that they should have won, the Nets are on a mission tonight, and they're going to fuck the Bucks up bad. But I still think the Bucks will be the number 2 seed, and they are not going to make it all the way this year. It's just not going to happen. They just didn't do enough in the offseason, and PJ Tucker, I think, was a great role player for them that now they lost. They lost that vocal leader in Tucker, and that is going to cost them a championship. I'm telling you. Miami was smart. At number 1, obviously, the team I think is going to be the reigning champions, not because I'm a Nets fan, but because they are just the deepest team in the NBA, even without Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets. Sean Marks had an A+ offseason. He just made this team even more scarier, even more deadly, even a really good draft class too. I love the pickup of Cameron Thompson, and I'm telling you, if he was not on a championship team, he definitely would be Rookie of the Year, and he is going to have a breakout year this year. I'm telling you, watch. He will be all rookie first. Mark my words on that. But that is my rankings for the Eastern and Western Conference of the NBA this year. Anything can happen, but let me know in the comment section below where you have teams ranked, where you think maybe I'm a little wrong, where I'm right. Just engage, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about my rankings for this season. But the NBA is back, and I know you're excited, and I'm excited, and if you are excited, smash that like button now. If you're an NBA fan and you are into basketball, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. All we do on the channel is talk about basketball. Links down in the description below. If you want to go check out my 2 other channels, I have one called We Are Wrestling, where nothing but wrestling content. And I also have another channel, Best One Network, where we just do lots of vlogs and just lots of fun Team Best One videos and Funko videos as well. But if you're just sick of your favorite subscribers and you want to go check those out, the link is down in the bio below. But to all the DBTV fans out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.